Here at Simply Garden, with over 50 years of gardening experience, I believe in keeping things simple and productive while gardening in your own backyard. Well, good afternoon. It's a beautiful summer, actually the first day of summer, I believe. It's June 20th in southern New Hampshire here, Zone 5. And we're going to review a couple of things today here. We want to review the fertilizing of sweet corn and also potatoes, give you some progress, how those two items are doing. So let's go ahead and take a look at potatoes first. And once again, I'm going to give it some fertilizing with what's called Roots Crops Alive from Gardens Alive, especially formulated for root type crops. And we have growing here is our potatoes, 4 different varieties. We planted back the last part of April, early May. And excuse me, it's time to hill these guys up. We did have quite a windstorm come through, rain a couple days ago, so it did blow over some of the plants, but that's fine. We'll just give them a nice, did break a few right here I see, but we'll give them a little bit of some fertilizer, give them a good deep watering, and they should rebound quite nicely. But they're growing great. We'll see we get pretty soon here. In fact, I see they're blossoming, which is kind of a hint that we probably have some potatoes underneath. So you know what? I'm going to cheat a little bit here. And let's take a peek and see if we can find any down here. I'm just going to pull some of these back. Actually, it's good to check once in a while, because if you got vole problems or mold problems chewing up the potatoes, you'll find out, so you can deal with it before it becomes a bigger issue. And let's see if we can find some potatoes down in here. Nothing yet. Oh, wait a second. Hold on here. And we have a little tiny red potato. Here we go. So we'll be that as an indication of what's more to come. I felt a few more down, but we'll let them get a little bigger. It's good to see that. It's a little dry down, so make sure it gets we're going to hill it up right now, give it some fertilizer. Oh, some more on top there. I don't know if you can see that back there. I'll rebury that one right there on top. So we'll go ahead and put that one back on some soil. You do want to keep your potatoes covered with soil, otherwise they get light, they get green, and that becomes I forget what that's called. You don't want to eat green potatoes; it can make you sick. It doesn't kill you, but it doesn't make you feel too good. So I'll go ahead and fertilize these potatoes here. We'll start a little bit of fertilizer along the edge. It doesn't take much on this organic fertilizer. And I got a total of 4 rows like this. I knew that these guys would be the first ones to get it, as far as getting some little baby potatoes out of it because of the variety that they are. Just a light sprinkling. Nothing like some wonderful fresh red potatoes. I should probably be able to pick these probably, let's say, another month. I'll just reach down and steal a few here and there. Don't want to disturb the whole plant. Usually by the end of August, the red potatoes are pretty much wrapping up. The foliage starts dying back, and that's an indication once the foliage has almost died back, it's time to pick them. Once again, I like to check quite often just to make sure that the voles and moles aren't in there damaging what you work so hard for. I've had many disappointments where you're digging along, think you got potatoes underneath there, and there's nothing but hollowed out plants. I mean spuds, because the moles and voles are eating out the insides of your potatoes. And you literally just leave like a shell, and everything's gone inside. There we go. Oh, there's one on top here, right here. See this here? Somehow got out. No, we're not gonna. We'll just throw it back in here. It's kind of it got soft. It's been out in this heat for a while. And here's that storm damage here, but broke off this stalk here. It happens. Okay. right. So go ahead and grab my hoe and we'll hill this up. Get the fertilizer worked into the soil this way. And then we'll give it a good watering afterwards. Gotta be careful, you don't want to go too deep and just disrupt the roots that are out there, but enough to just pull some soil up to cover the tops of the roots some more. Just kind of flop it up like that. All right. It's fun seeing others how they grow the potatoes, the success they had. I know some people use these bags. I don't call them potato bags, but they can grow bags. Curious to see how that works for people. I've always done it this way. It seems to work pretty good for years. There we go. Just hold them up like so. Growing between here is leeks, and also some spinach coming down there, which will be wrapping up pretty soon and starting to bolt, but we can still get some side leaves out of those. Okay, we'll do the outside row here. See, this foliage is really taken off quite well. I've got a rock here I'll throw out in the woods. See how she's just a little bit of soil goes on top like that. That's all you need just to keep the roots covered from coming up to the top. Probably a little too close to the lawn here, but actually I won't hurt the grass. Just trying to get some soil over there onto the top of the plant. There we go. All right, so that's just how simple you do it. Just pick them up like that, pull the soil back up a little bit, and we should get potatoes out of that row probably in another 4 weeks. I'll continue working this one here. Got a little more work to do this here because it's damaged by the wind a little bit, but I'll work on getting the soil piled back up to kind of help support these a little more. So like I was saying, we got some wind damage here, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to kind of try to pull the soil up a little further here, try to give it a little more support while the roots can the stalks can kind of straighten themselves out. We got some dill growing here. I'm just going to pull that out. Actually, we'll dry that in the house. Yes, dill is a great herb that'll just kind of reseed itself. You let it go into the full seeds, actually into the head stage. Actually, this is the seed head coming out of there. This is right here, and let that go to full maturity. The seeds dry up and they plant themselves the next year. I've got a spot down here among the onions here. I've had dill here for years now. It just keeps coming back. It just, even though I turn the soil over, I'll let some of these come to full maturity to make sure I always get some wild dill going back in. And you can cut the ferns off to dry and enjoy it in the winter time. Let's continue supporting this here. Pull this up here as much as we can without disturbing the roots of the leeks. There we go. Okay. throw some back on the other side. Hopefully it'll help support it, and we'll give it a good watering, and we'll be on our way. All right. Boy, I don't know about you, but dandelions love to just put themselves in a certain spot and get bigger and bigger. I take care of that nice long root, huh? Whew! All right, we'll let that dry up and throw it in the compost bin later on. All right, it's pretty good. Nice and supported, looks better. Up like that for a little bit. They'll eventually grow and fall over, but I just want to give them a little more support. Take some of the stress off them from the windstorm. And as soon as I get this spinach finished up here, I'll rip those out and give this leeks a good fertilizing too. And that's, I never tried the spinach between the leeks before. Thought, hey, why not? Had the space, not going to take much from them. And spinach doesn't require a lot, just a little nitrogen. But that's almost done. We'll pick those next couple of days here, and then get those ripped out and continue to encourage the leeks to grow at a quicker pace with some special fertilizer just for them. Which is the same, by the way, for the potatoes. All right. Hope you enjoyed that, and we're going to move on to the corn next year and give them some treatment. And this is the fertilizer for corn, which is 633 Sweet Corn's Alive from Gardens Alive. And this here says when corn plants get to about 5 to 6 inches high, give it a nice treatment of this. I've already done down here, which I see need to weed the crabgrass out of that. That's a good thing to do when the sun goes down. We'll be doing that later on tonight, pulling the crabgrass out, because that will takes energy away from the plant. And also I need to thin out where I have 2 plants growing. Don't need that, so just rip those out. Let's go ahead and give this a nice little fertilizing here. Just a gentle amount. I do just like a handful for every 6 feet. And then this will be hit again when it starts to tassel out. Looks like we lost a plant here. So we'll take care of that problem right now. We're going to go ahead and stick another one, a small one over here that maybe is, I can steal from somewhere else. Right here, here we go. When they get a certain size, it's hard to transplant corn. But because I don't walk in the soil much, it's very soft and pliable. Take my hand, put a hole in there, and here we go. I'll come back and water that in a minute because it will wilt down, otherwise there'll be some moisture in there. And that corn plant will catch up. It might be a little later, but I always find it's, I do get all the transplants, I do get corn out of them. It does work, you know, filling in the gaps. I have pumpkins growing in between, which is supposed to help keep the raccoons out. It might work. I haven't had many raccoon problems lately. I've done it that way for years and years, growing the pumpkins. Probably doing it for 25 years that way, or more, growing the pumpkins in among the corn. Here we go. All right, we'll get this fertilized. Let me get it cultivated. So I'll be careful not to rip out the pumpkins in the process. I think actually the corn, the fertilizer used for the sweet corn, does well for the pumpkins. I always seem to do pretty well with using that same fertilizer for the pumpkins. I will put some fish emulsion in the pumpkins plants. The fish emulsion does seem to help it. Like I say, I'll take out the extra ones that I have. You see out there, some of the extra ones. We'll take those out in a little bit as they're getting bigger now. When I come through and weed this later on tonight. Okay. So there we go. That's getting the sweet corn straightened out there for more fertilizer specifically designed for corn. And we'll come through later on and get rid of some of these extra crabgrass that's growing up in here. We don't want it choking things out. So hope you enjoy this video. If you're looking for more over time, and next thing we're probably working on would be fertilizing the beans next, and then picking more peas. And thank you for subscribing and viewing our channel. Have a good afternoon.